Here we have a second alternative for Christmas dessert, and I'm going to show you how to make a thin apple tart, which is one of my all-time favourite desserts. It's from France, and the ingredients are very, very straightforward. We have caster sugar, we have unsalted butter, golden delicious apples, and some pre-rolled puff pastry. 4 basic ingredients. Doesn't get much simpler than that. And we're going to start by peeling the apples, and I was quite specific at the beginning of the recipe. It must be golden delicious apples. Golden delicious apples, obviously a French product. They were made for this particular dessert. And first thing we're going to do is we're going to peel them. I like to use an old-fashioned peeler. If you use a speed peeler, it tends to chew the apple up a wee bit. Make sure there's no labels on there. I'm just going to take the top bit out, and this is quite important because that plays a part in the way the apple tart looks. So we'll take the wee bit of core out from the top there. We're going to keep that. And obviously the bit from the bottom we don't need, so we take that out like so. And we're going to peel the apple. Make sure your peel is nice and sharp. And all we do is gently turn the apple around and remove the peel from the apple. If your peeler has been in your drawer for the last 10-20 years, peeling tatties, might be time to get an early pre-Christmas gift. So a nice brand new sharp peeler. So once we peel the apple like so, very simple, cut the apple in half like that. And the next bit again is really quite important. I use a melon baller, and we're just going to take out a tiny bit of the core from the inside of the apple like so. Quite important. Again, we don't want any family disputes about who left the core in the apple, so make sure all that comes out. You don't have to use a melon baller. I use one at the school because it's nice and easy to do. I'll show you how the alternative. Get hold of your peeler like so. Really grab hold of it. Don't do it down here. If you do it down here, you've got no control of what's going on. So get it in your hand and just gently twist it around like so, and then that's how you get your core out from the middle. Make sure there's no core left in the base, so we're just going to use a wee knife there. Just take those wee bits out. There we go. That's nice. A wee bit more there. That's it. That's done. A little bit in this one here. I'm sure we've all eaten apple pies that Granny's made. A bit of core and pips inside, which is quite irritating. Next bit, we're going to slice the apples. Just take the end piece off, which we're not going to use. Put that to one side. And just carefully slice the apples fairly thinly, like so. And there we go. Just through like that. Again, bit of precision required here, and just spread them out. So take your time, practice makes perfect. Just take the ends of the apple off and just slice through like so. Take your time, slow down, and make sure that they're nice and even, like that. Don't use a knife this big when you're slicing it, and there's a nice small knife, so you're in control of what's going on. You can see how easy I make it look, just gently slicing the apple through, and it needs to be even. Do you want to see what we've got here? So just have a look at this. A little bit nice even slices on the board. Very, very, very important. I'll show you why in a second. Second apple, and it needs about 1 apple per tart. So obviously you're making 8 tarts, 8 apples, etc., etc. This is another dessert which can be made ahead and just cooked off and finished in the oven at the last minute. I would serve ice cream with this, or creme fraiche. That works really, really well, or just double cream. But a nice ice cream goes especially well with this. It's a nice light way to end the meal after you've had a full Christmas lunch. So again, we're slicing through like so, and that's the apple. The next bit is we're going to use pre-rolled, that's bought puff pastry from most supermarkets, looking for the ones which have got the highest butter content, and don't buy the puff pastry which has not been pre-rolled. That's very, very important that we just use the pre-rolled stuff, and all we need to do is just cut it to the size we want, which is about that size today. So it's about an 8-inch plate we're using, and all we're going to do is slightly prick the pastry with a fork. It's very important so the heat comes through the base and helps it cook evenly from underneath. Next thing we're going to do is transfer those pastries to a non-stick baking sheet, like so. Allow plenty of room when you're doing these. Don't crunch them up. Use a very large tray, or one per tray. The apples that we pre-sliced, all we need to do now is we're going to layer the apples around the edge of the pastry. And this is why it's so important that we've taken the time to slice them even. You can see how even these apples are. It's no use having one that thick and one paper thin, because they won't work. You're going to get an uneven cooking time, and also it makes it quite hard to arrange the apples on the pastry. As I said, it's about 1 apple per person. So all these ideas and ingredients, etc., are on the website. But please use golden delicious apples. If you use a Granny Smith or a Cox, you'll get instant apple sauce on the top of your pastry. Not a good idea on Christmas Day. So you arrange the apples around the outside like so. I'm going to put a wee slice in the middle like that, and then I'm going to put the wee core to finish it off like so. So I think this is pretty straightforward. But pre-bought puff pastry, pre-rolled, just cut out to the size, about an 8 to 10 inch plate. Golden delicious, which you've just peeled, cored, taken a wee bit of time to get them sliced nice and evenly. Arrange them on top like so. This recipe is also quite adaptable in the summertime, and we do it with apricots, we do it with plums and peaches. It's absolutely gorgeous. Green Gedges is one of my favourites. We can all dream of those summer days at Christmas time. So the apple gets arranged around there like so, and there we are. There's the apple. Another wee slice in the middle on there, and then we're going to put the core on the top. And the next step is just to get the puff pastry and just gently roll it up around the apples like so. So just use your fingers, and this is creating a natural edge to keep the juices in and to create a nice crust around the edge of the apples like so. Just roll them around, and it'll just come back in and around like so. There we go. That's it. That's all you need to do. Nice and simple. Caster sugar, and we're just going to sprinkle a generous amount of caster sugar over the top. Granulated sugar is okay. Caster sugar is finer, and it cooks a wee bit faster. That's why we tend to use it. And it should help you get a nice glaze on top of the apple tart when it comes out. So a liberal amount of sugar on top, and then we're going to put a few wee bits of unsalted butter again on the apple tart. Don't use margarine, please, and don't be tempted to use salted butter. Not the nicest combination in the world. So a little bit of unsalted butter on the tart, and that's ready for it to go in the oven. And after about 12 minutes, the apple tart should be ready. Again, another very straightforward, easy dessert, and there's the finished product. Nice and golden, as we can see, and that's ready to serve. We just need to slide that onto the plate and serve it with a scoop of vanilla ice cream, creme fraiche or double cream. Even a fruit sorbet is absolutely lovely. My favourite with that one is vanilla ice cream. So we're just going to slide that onto the plate. Just non-stick tray, should just go straight on by itself. The trays are going to be pretty hot. It's quite a hot temperature. Dust the icing sugar around the edge, and there is your thin apple tart.